Hello everybody, Reggie Time here, and we are playing some... Oh, hit the VIP quickly before we time out. We haven't got it, we have got it. Get that bumped up. Get that called. I haven't even got the intro in yet and we're in the action. We don't want the seat. Yeah, welcome to what is effectively 20 now video on quad miners. The same site we played on in yesterday's video, only one stake up, or two stakes up or something like that. I can't remember what we were playing yesterday. Can't remember what stakes we were playing yesterday, but this is a little bit higher limits, but games are similarly soft and play a very similar sort of way to the games yesterday, where I observed that even these games are so soft even my wife could beat them. I'm expecting nothing to change during today's video. We may not win, but we'll certainly be putting ourselves in positions to win. There isn't a table I'm at where I don't think I'm the best player at the table, or at least one of the best, and certainly in the top two. This table, as you can see, there's like a 17-14 there who's probably semi-competent, and the rest are just whoppers. At this table, everyone's a whopper, and at this table, this guy's a regular. Whopper, lag, and whopper. So we've still got whoppers everywhere, which, given that I have a particular enjoyment of Burger Kings, is a pretty depressing thing to say right now, given that I can't enjoy a Burger King anywhere for fucking love or money. But yeah, basically we're in super soft games, and I've been talking to some of my current players during the last 24 hours about this club, and there's been a mixed reaction to it, and I'll explain why when I've had my last puff of my vape. Most of the players I've talked to, the regulars, the guys who study the game pretty hard, they work hard on their games, they're trying to get better, they just have like very little to no interest in playing tables with like a plethora of short stacks like we have here. As I explained in yesterday's video, I think they're missing a trick, because all that matters is how many big blinds we make per hour. It doesn't matter whether that comes courtesy of a load of like easy chip dumps effectively by whales for relatively short stacks, or whether that comes from playing fewer pots against fish but playing deeper stacked against players you have an edge against. It doesn't matter where you find your edge, the fact is that you need to find your edge, and then ultimately the metric that counts most is how many big blinds per hour am I making. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter how you get it, it's the metric is how many big blinds per hour, how many dollars per hour I'm making from these games. And I think a lot of the mistake a lot of players make, including some of my guys, is that they don't put enough attention into, am I one of the best two players at this table? We're playing six max poker. If you're third best, then you're quite low down the pecking order to get the dead money. If you're second best, you're obviously higher up, and if you're the best, then everyone's theoretically dead money to you. And I don't think enough good players who study the game hard, who really try hard to improve, who really want to be successful, I still don't think enough of them, despite the fact that, you know, everyone knows it deep down, game selection is really important. I don't think people give enough value to game selection still. It's been such a dirty word for such a long time in poker. I just think some people, it's just got these like really negative connotations now around game selection, bum hunting, call it what you will. There's just so many negative connotations around it that people just like don't want to do it, you know. It's almost like the N word or like some other like words that are just so awful in society, people don't say them. So almost like bum hunting is one of them in poker, or game selecting is one of them in poker, and those guys are definitely missing a trick there. They're putting pride before the success, and as we all know, pride often comes before the fall. So I'm going to keep making these videos in these clubs because I think they are incredibly good games, albeit not ones that require an absolute ton of thought. in terms of like getting into relatively complex and interesting deep stacked post-flop situations. I think these games, fair enough, I understand it, they're not for everyone. I don't understand why people don't want to play them, but I understand they don't want to play them. I think these games really are good for players that are MTT players, maybe, who would just check this guy out first. We're going to 3-bet and get it in with the ace queen versus this stack size. I think they're good for MTT players who would want to transition to cash. Keep them away from quite a lot of mind bending, deep stacked turn and river situations in the short term. All in 3 ways here. I guess we're a slight underdog, given that he's got us some of our outs blocked and the 9's hold, and we don't win the flip. Well, lost my train of thought. Yeah, these games, they're going to be good for recreational cash game players too, who kind of tend not to win in tougher games where they may be the 4th or 5th best table player at their tables. You're going to come to this club, and if you've even got a VPIP of say 25/10, say that you're probably going to be a losing player or maybe break even in normal games, because you're going to be like the 4th or 5th best player at the table. In these games, you're going to be the best player at the table, and you're just going to immediately give yourself a positive win rate, assuming that you make the correct adjustments to playing in games like these. So yeah, are these games going to be appealing to regulars who like working with solvers and all those things? No, they're not, and I'm not going to try and sell them to those guys because they know enough about what they're doing. If they don't want to play in these games, I mean, it's not for me to force them. But if you are a player that watches my channel regularly who isn't a winning player, which I guess is quite a lot of you guys, then yeah, you could do a lot worse than come and take a look. Right, this Wales raise to see. We have the idiot end of the straight. We're going to proceed with caution. 6 could be a good card, could be a bad card in terms of like, well, we're not going to get away, are we? Let me just value bet this ripper now and don't fold. I guess you can certainly have some bluffs. You can have some 2 pairs that want to raise us still. I mean, if he's got the king queen or the queen 8, then hallelujah. And he just folds. So maybe we lost some value there by not 3-betting the flop. Don't know. But yeah, getting back to my point about who these games suit. They don't suit GTO guys who want to play deep stack poker and enjoy tougher decisions on later streets. They're not for you, because there are no tough decisions on later streets almost ever, because usually most of the money's in pre-flop or on the flop, so they're not good for you. But if you're like a sit and go player who wants to try cash games, then these will be right up your alley, because you'll be used to a lot of the situations that you put in for all your chips. If you're an MTT player who wants to try and play some cash games, again, be right up your alley. And if you're a cash game player who just loves beating bums and doesn't give a shit how the money comes in, like me, then these games are going to be completely fine for you too. So yeah, just look at what's going on, look at the tables, look how soft the games are, and then ask yourself, could I make money in those games? Because ultimately, that's the only question that matters. Could I make money in those games? Could I make a good hourly rate relative to the stakes in those games? That's the only question you should ever be asking yourself. Not, does the style of play suit me? Because if there's games where you can make decent money in them in terms of big blinds per hour, and then you don't do that because you don't think the game suits you, then to me you're approaching poker wrong. You really are. You should be seeking the games where you think you can make the most big blinds per hour, and then look to move up. Eventually you'll move up to a point where these types of games don't exist, and you will then need to adopt a different approach. But why make life difficult for yourself on the way up if you can like come in these clubs for a month, 2 months, really spin a bankroll up, and then take that bankroll and say, right, now I always struggle getting past 20 in the tougher games, but now I've got a bankroll where we could play higher in softer games, or more of a cushion to go and take shots at the games that we previously didn't do so well at, because maybe you're under a little bit of bankroll pressure or what have you. Not really much point checking this flop. If we check, we're kind of just giving up in a way. He calls. I think we're going to check call turn against a 56-23. Doesn't have to have King X here. And we're certainly going to check call the river. Although we don't like him much. The 4-5's got there from the flop. The King's winning. The 6 is now winning. So it's not, on balance, it's not a great run out for us. Tanks and then bombs the end. I mean, I just don't believe him. Our hand's under repped. And he had the Queen 4, so good for us. It's really interesting when you do what I do now. You end up having loads of really cool conversations with some really clever people, some really thoughtful people, some really deep thinkers, and it never fails to surprise me how so many of them have like skipped some of the basics, which are game selection and, well, not so much bankroll management, to be fair, because I encourage people not to put much of the bankroll on these sites. But then they skip a lot of the basics in terms of like table selection, times to play. They're really theoretically good at poker, but they don't do anywhere near as well as they should. And it's because they're not paying enough attention to the fundamental rules of poker, which is, if you can't see the sucker at the table, you're it. Now, in these clubs, no matter where you play, you're going to spot some suckers at the table. But if you only spot 2 suckers, then are you a sucker in these games? I mean, if you're on PokerStars or something like that, getting loads of volume in, and you spot 1 or 2 suckers at a table, then good for you. You're not the sucker. But if you're playing in these clubs and you are not spotting at least 3 suckers at the table that you have a very clear and tangible edge over, then again, you are massively hindering yourself. That's as damaging as, say, making a river call once every half an hour that you know's bad, or making a bluff once every hour that you know's bad. It's just as bad in terms of how much it costs you, but it's an invisible cost because you never really see it. You know, you make a bad call, you can look back at it, you can go and do a session review, see the bad call, I'm like, I need to improve on that. But if you never see, like, the money you're losing, or not losing, the extra money you're not making through your poor club and game selection issues, then it's kind of, it's a bit like when you, I used to, when I was coaching, used to get players and they'd have like reasonable graphs but not brilliant graphs, and whenever I said, right, come on, we'll do a hand review, you choose a hand you want to review them, they'd almost always just review the coolers and the suckouts and what have you, and I'd have to go rooting to find like the real cause of the problems, which is like missed value bets. I'd run a filter and holding manager, which would be like in position on river, one hand, you know, after no bets going, so like basically checking back winners on rivers, and you see so many hands where people would just be checking back clear value bets, but they thought they were doing okay because they were winning the hands, and no one goes back and checks a medium-sized pot they won. Who does that? Who does that in holding manager? Not many. Oh, I'll review my session and I'll review a load of 20 big blind pots that I won. No one's doing that, but there's so much fucking money going missing in those pots because you're missing the 8 to 16 big blind value river value bet that you've just kind of decided not to make. And it's, you know, one never notices that it's a leak that a lot of people struggle to find. And I think poor game selection for a lot of players is another, not invisible leak because people are aware they should be doing it but they don't do it. But it's a leak that doesn't show up in any graph anywhere, because people tend to focus on just how did I play, not how did I approach the session, did I do things right before I started. People don't take that into consideration. They're just like, these are the hands at the tables that I played, how did I do? And the biggest mistake of the whole session might be just joining the first 3 tables to see and not taking 5 minutes to just take a look. We're going to give this guy a flip with his Ace 10. with our ace 10, so I mean he's opening 16 bigs, it's all good fun. He's got ace king, we are fucked. We are double fucked. Okie dokie, that wasn't good from me. That wasn't good, but never mind. It's been lecturing people about how to play well and just punt 32 bigs off with ace 10 suited. That's what I do in tournaments a lot. It's probably not good. Maybe that was a mistake, but you see a 40/12 is making it 16-8. It's going to have a lot of like stuff that we're doing okay. It's probably not too much stuff we're dominating. I think ace 10 is probably not okay, to be fair. Shouldn't be giving myself a pass on that because it probably isn't okay. Because the best we're usually going to be is flipping. You know, the best we're going to get in with there is like 55-60% equity, and a lot of the time we're going to be in the rough kind of shit that we found ourselves in. So yeah. Naughty Reggie, got a bit carried away there. But, yeah. Well, no, you can't say that to yourself, Reggie. I've just been lecturing people about, like, whitewashing over mistakes, and then I'm trying to do it. It was shit. It was shit. I shouldn't have done it. But let's hope for a 7 or a diamond here. Do we go for a check raise? He's only been betting 10 every time. I think I want to go for a check raise still. And hopefully get paid off. Hopefully this guy doesn't have a full house. He just has a straight. And he finds a fold. So he would min bet, then bet most on the river and find a fold. He did fold a straight though, so that wasn't expected. And the guy that's just punted 30 bigs with ace 10 and he check fold, he bet folds a straight to me on the river. That's not right when he's only got whatever he had left. 100 blinds. Right, so anyway, that's the end of the lectures. We've got about 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes, because I started late this morning. Just have some fun and see what happens. I almost lost my discipline and put a straddle in then. No deuces. Right, let's see if we can undo this mistake we made here. I think you already lost a flip at this table before we started. Well, table 2, yeah. And we got -6, 7, 7. Table 2 is being its usual naughty self today, although, to be fair, oh, this cue's gone now. Some of that naughtiness was very much an act of willful self-harm. Well, isn't that just a ball bag of a flop? Isn't that just a ball bag of a turn? Come on, just give us a 9 of spades. And just well, the river doesn't change anything, to be fair, does it? We're going to check down and lose here, I would imagine. And this table is disintegrating, which is unfortunate. Stick at it while we've got a 64-21 though with 25 bigs. If he wants to play, I'm certainly happy to accommodate him. I'm not sure if 43-14 is the best people to 3-bet light against. It's like quite a pretty hand. I didn't want to just flat. Yeah, this is not turning out to be a good session. hemorrhaging money all over the joint. Just giving up here, of course, by the way, in a 3-bet pot when we get called on ASXX. Right, Reggie, pull your finger out. You've got 20 minutes to pull your fucking finger out and stop. I mean, it's fucking ironic that I've lectured people for 15 minutes on fucking doing things wrong at poker, whilst simultaneously putting in the worst fucking session on video, or the worst 20 minutes on video I've put in fucking many a moon. The irony of that is not lost on me, and please feel free to stick the fucking needle in as much as you need to. Check raise all in here, table 2. We've only got a 2% 3-bet, but we can't afford to it with the other people in the pot, with the other person in the pot. We're behind slightly, but we get there, and we finally have a tiny bit of redemption. Wow, look at all these all-ins. We've got to do some maths now, haven't we? We've got to do some maths. 530 into 942, so we need what, like, don't fucking know. How much equity do we need here? We're getting nearly 2 to 1. Got 40% equity against 2. We've got this dead money in the pot. Fuck it. Oh shit! That wasn't good. This is the worst session I've put in fucking ages. It's some of the softest games I've ever seen. What an absolute fuckwit. I truly am. I should never be paying a 36.10 off with a 3% 3-bet there. Never. What an absolute bell end. It serves me right for being a sanctimonious cunt earlier with the fucking lecturing, doesn't it? That's what it does. Serves me right for being an absolutely sanctimonious cunt. I think it's fair to say we're putting a losing video together, boys and girls. Don't know how much we'll have lost, but it feels like we've lost at least $20-something already. It's funny though, isn't it? It's funny. Been a complete bell end, telling every cunt what they're doing wrong, and then proceed to do absolutely as much wrong as is humanly possible myself. Come on, let's see the spikes. Let's see the spike in the comment. Fucking give it back to me. I've just spent 15 minutes giving it to some of you guys. Fucking give it back. In good spirits, by the way. If you just give it back being a complete dick, then you won't garner my attention other than to hover over the delete button. But if you want to give it back in a humorous, amusing, non-malicious way, then yes, I want to see it. I want to see it, and I fucking deserve it. And we've got Funky Friday to come tomorrow as well. Oh no, we haven't. Oh shit, this should have been Funky Friday. Oh well, never mind. Funky Friday's going to be going on Saturday now. I'm just losing track of the fucking days in this fucking lockdown. What day is it? It's Thursday, isn't it now? And you're seeing this on Friday. Yeah. Totally losing track of the fucking days, weeks, months, hours, sleep schedules, absolutely on its ass. Basically, what I'm saying is, I need to get my fucking act together a little bit. I'm just bumbling through days, playing poker, chatting to people, going out on walks. Just, I mean, in a lot of ways it's nice. I mean, not seeing family isn't nice, but You know, I'm just bumbling at the minute, and I'm bumbling through this video, I'm bumbling through life. C-betting gut shots. Getting folds. Yeah. This session and this video has been a wake-up call. And that wake-up call is, don't be a dick, Reg. Try harder. That is the wake-up call right now. Might be the best $20 to $25 I've spent in. Ooh. At least since I bought that fucking dartboard where the cunting darts don't stick in. That's what it might be. It's only more productive $20 odd that I've spent. Because this won't happen again for a while. This lack of composure, concentration, general poker ability. It's all been lacking this session. Humility, that's been lacking too. Everything's been fucking lacking. Basically, it's been a clusterfuck. And I wish I could say that I cared, but I mean, I don't. You know, I just don't. And I probably should. But I mean, deep down, it's only money. It's only one session, and as long as it's content that people enjoy consuming for various reasons. I mean, you've learned fuck all strategy today, apart from bum hunt. That's the only strategy you've learned. And then my player has not exactly extolled the virtues of that strategy. Well, hopefully it's giving you a giggle. If it's given someone who's having a bad time in lockdown a giggle, then that really has been $25 well spent. And maybe I wouldn't pay $20 a day to give some random stranger a fucking giggle. I mean, it's expensive just to give some bloke I'll never meet in Shepton Mallet a 2-second guffaw. It's an expensive way to spend your money. But yeah, you got to pick the positives out, haven't you? And if I can't play well, then at least try and be entertaining. Oh, don't fold there, mate. I mean, you're playing 57% of hands. Just have a piece. Just have a piece, Seller. Come on. Digging it out of a hole. Ibuprofen. That is some screen name. That'll take the pain of the session away. See what I did there? Clever, wasn't it? Clever comedy. That's what I'm all about. I'm like Ricky Gervais, and you know, just about the comedy. This guy's just jammed all in. We've got to pay 155. I think it's just a call, isn't it? What am I even thinking about? Are we going to win this one? Oh, of course not. And another one bites the dust. Feeling the pain of the MTT and tournament guys today. We have not flipped well. It's been a fucking car crash of a session, hasn't it? Been an absolute car crash. We'll have a vape and wrap it up, I think. We're not going to recover our composure or our self-esteem or our dignity at this point, so let's just end the whole sorry mess and go to fucking Asda, pick up the click and collect. That's what we need to be doing. We'll check the damage at the end. I have a rough idea of what the bankrolls on each account were when we started. Collectively we had about 16,500 chips or so, I think. We've still got over 15,000. Won't be happy, but we'll take it. shit. Some of these are call time tables, aren't they? Mind you, we're losing at them all, so it doesn't fucking matter. We don't have to call time at any of them. That's alright, at least that's something. And check the positives, haven't you? Yeah, it's going to be a shorter than usual video, but sometimes you just got to call it a day. See if the 7-9 can do us some favours. Come on, the 7-9, you can do it. Well, you can't. Here's 10 of clubs. Third time at this table. We had the ace 10 of clubs on table 2 and lost a flip. Then we lost a flip to him with against the ace 10 of clubs. What's going to happen with it this time? Nothing's going to happen with it this time. That's what's going to fucking happen. A big fat nothing. Yeah, we're not going to put any more blinds in, guys. I've lost it. I've totally lost the plot. I'm not at all annoyed, it's just one of them things, but I've totally lost the plot this video. Got no train of thought whatsoever going on right now other than, what are you doing here, you fucking fat idiot? But of course we're going to end the sessions with straddles all round if we catch the opportunity to do it. Oh, almost did it there, but it was a rabbit. I didn't need a rabbit. This is going to be a straddle next hand. It's completely stupid to straddle in these stack depths, but I've done a lot more stupid things this session, so last one won't hurt, will it? Guess who's going all in just a moment? That's right, this guy. End of table. Bye. That's a good start. Being above 5k is a good start. Because that's been the naughty table. The really naughty table. Get ready for the straddle on table 1, Reggie. Straddle is live on table 3. We've got Jack 7 off. Straddle is live on table 1. We are in the last notes of the video with 10-4 off. Come on, Jack 7. 8, 9, 10. I mean, we're going to bet. Oh, we've got a bottom pair to start. Got the 8 and the 9. And then the Queen. Five, 4, 4, 0. We might not be in terrible shape after all of this. Does a 10-4 win? Yeah, 10-4 wins too. Right, so we could pause a second so we don't show other people's bankrolls. So these are my 3 bankrolls, and we've got... It seems like we only lost $20 in that video, which is remarkable given how shit we played, because we deserved to lose a lot. Well, we didn't deserve to lose a lot more because we just about lost every fucking pot. I don't think we could have lost much more than we did. But yeah. So it's been a short video, guys. I've been a bit all over the place today. Late night, early start, shopping to do. Tried to squeeze the video in now. Wasn't ready to do it really. Wasn't ready to play. Wasn't in the right mindset to play. Lecture people on what not to do when playing poker. Then did everything fucking terrible myself. It's been a total clusterfuck. Have a nice Friday. Have a lovely weekend. Stay safe. Stay indoors. Stay calm. Much love from me. Take care, everybody. Bye bye for now.